Hello, my dear students. I hope that you all are safe at your home. And I'm supposed that you all have completed your work in EBS till chapter 6. So, today we will start the new chapter, that is chapter 7, Sources of Water. So, students, in this chapter, you will learn about the rainwater, surface water, underground water, rainwater harvesting, and then uses of water. So, let's get started. First of all, as you all know that water is very essential and very important for us, and it is present in all around us, in the air and in the ground. It is in milk, vegetables, fruits, meat, leaves, trunk, roots and branches of a tree, and even in the rocks also. It means that water is everywhere. All living things need water to survive, and no life is possible without water. We can live without food for several weeks, but without water, we cannot live for more than few days. Water is one of the most common substances on the earth. It covers over 70% of the substances on the earth. There are three main sources of water. First is rainwater, second is surface water, and then third is underground water. So, first is rain. Most of the water on earth comes from rain. A large amount of rainwater falls into the major oceans, means big oceans, water bodies such as rivers, seas, or ponds and lakes. It seeps into the soil, means it goes into the soil and it reaches a layer of non-porous rocks, means that no more water or no more moisture will go at that stage, the non porous rocks. This water is known as the underground water, means that water goes into the soil and collect at a place is called the underground water. The rainwater is the purest form of natural water, but it gets impure as it falls through the dust particles, sulfurous gases, and carbon gases in all polluted atmosphere. When rainwater come in contact in these substances, it also get impured. Now, after rainwater, there is surface water. We see surface water every day. It is any water that travels or is stored on the ground surface. We all see surface water every day, children. This would be the like rivers, lakes, streams, reservoirs, and even the oceans. Runoff is the draining away an area of water from the surface of an area of land, a building or structure, etc. So, our first surface water is the ponds. Rainwater sometimes collect on earth in small body of water is called a pond. A pond may be natural or man-made also, means human beings made also the ponds. During the summer season, some ponds get dry. Next is lakes. A lake is bigger than pond. The water in lake dissolved impurities like clay and germs. So it is unsafe for drinking. It means it is not fit for drinking purpose. Next are rivers. Originate from high mountains. Water is present in high mountains in frozen forms called as glaciers. Rivers are formed when the ice in glaciers melts and because of the heat of the sun. Some of India's biggest rivers like the Ganga and the Yamuna and the Brahmaputra originate in the Himalayas. When the snow in the mountains melt, then the rivers are formed, and these rivers are called the snow-fed rivers. Simply means that snow-fed rivers move throughout the air. Next, some rivers flow only during the rainy season, means they are dependent on the rainfall for water, and these are called the rain-fed rivers, and they often dry up during the summer season. Some of the rain-fed rivers are Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, and Mahanadi are the rain-fed rivers. Next is the waterfalls. Waterfalls is also a example of surface water. Sometimes a river goes down vertically from a height, forming a waterfall. A waterfall looks beautiful, but its water is not suitable for drinking. It means it also have some impurities in it. Next is oceans and seas. First of all, an ocean and sea is a large water body. There are 5 oceans in the world. These are the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, Arctic, and Southern Oceans. And a sea is smaller than an ocean. Rivers add dissolved salts into the sea from the rocks. Means rivers added the salts from the rocks and mix into the sea, and they flow through. Thus seawater contain large amount of dissolved salts, and we cannot use seawater for drinking purpose and other domestic purpose. Next is the after surface water, next is the underground water. We cannot actually see underground water when the water seeps down, because it is coming from the under the earth. That's why you cannot see. It reaches a layer of rock that already has water on it. Groundwater flows through layer of sand, clay, rock, and gravel. This cleans the water, but it also have some impurities. When farmers use groundwater, groundwater does not need as much treatment as surface water, but it is usually need some purifying of these impurities. Means that underground water is not so impure as surface water, but there have some impurities which can be cleaning out and make it suitable fit for drinking. Now children, come to the sources of underground water. Sources are wells and tube wells. So first of all, wells. In villages, wells are dug to bring underground water to the surface. A wheel called the Persian wheel draws out the water from tanks. So children, this is the Persian wheel. This is the Persian wheel. See in this figure or picture. Now, so what is the Persian wheel? It is a mechanical water lifting device operating used by like animals like bullocks, buffaloes, and camels to rotate this wheel, and this water is used, that is coming out from this well through this Persian wheel, is used for household work and irrigation of the fields. Many times the underground water is very deep and we cannot get water by digging the wells. So what we do in such a situation, a big bore is dug with help of machines, and tubes are sunk in these bores. Bores means the holes, and pumps are also installed. The pumps run on electricity or diesel. So water is brought up with the help of these pumps. Such wells are called the tube wells. This is the tube well. Now they are commonly used in farms for irrigation. Tube wells in Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, and Gujarat. In the southern plateaus, the ground is rocky and it is difficult to dig well. People often use tanks and ponds. So, children, here is a word is plateaus. So, children, here is the word plateaus. See, This is the word Southern Plateau. And plateau is used Plateau is an area of high grounds, means the place have no change following for long period of time, or there is no activity is going for a long time. That's why the ground it is become very rocky, and it is very difficult to dig the wells at the southern plateau. So people use the tanks and ponds at the that place on this place. Next example of underground water is hand pumps. As you all know that like tube wells, hand pumps also draw out underground water for drinking. Hand pumps use a shallower boring, means a little deep boring than tube wells, because tube wells are very deep, need very deep boring for it, but hand pumps need a shallower boring. It very deep, little deep than tube wells. Now next is the natural springs. Groundwater may run along with the layer of non-porous rocks and come out onto the surface of forming a natural spring. It is a naturally made spring. Now next is the storage of water. So first is dams. A dam is a structure that blocks the flow of river, stream, or other waterways. Sometimes divert the flow of river water into a pipeline or canal. Canal means a artificial waterway. And next is the channel. It means the medium by joining the two large area of water. Other raise the level of inland waterway. What is inland waterway? It is a network in the form of rivers or canal used for transportation to make them navigable for ships and barges. Barges is also a kind of ship, a flat ship. Many dams harness the energy of falling water to generate electric power, and this type of electricity is called the hydroelectricity, means the electricity made through the water is called the hydroelectricity. Dams also hold water for drinking, crop irrigation, and flood control. That is why they are called the multi-purpose projects. From ancient times to the present, people have built dams to capture water and store it to irrigate crops in areas where rainfall does not provide enough moisture for plant growth. So dams are very useful man-made multi-purpose project for human beings and for our survival. Next is the reservoirs and canals. A usually artificial lake that is used to store a large supply of water for use in people's home and business is known as reservoir. Water can be released from the reservoir into a canal, ditch, or pipe which carries the water to field or homes. Next is rainwater harvesting. During the rainy season, rainwater is collected in tanks or ponds, as you see in this diagram or in this picture. This rainwater is also collected on roofs of the building and allowed to flow into a deep hole dug in the ground. This method is called rainwater harvesting. This collected water in tanks or ponds is used for irrigation during the dry season. And this method of irrigation is mostly practiced in Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu, mainly in these two states. Next is the uses of water. Water is used for many purposes. First, drinking. Second, domestic use. Third, industrial use. And fourth is agricultural use. Next, drinking water in houses. We all need safe water for drinking. In most cities, water is supplied from lakes and rivers also. However, before the water is supplied to home, it is filtered in a water purification plant. Chlorine is added in the water to kill the germs. Then this purified water is supplied to our homes. Thus, we get the safe drinking water from the taps. And last is cleaning water at home. Sometimes, especially during the rainy season, tap water may not be clean enough to drink. So, it may contain germs and suspended impurities also. So, we can make water fit for drinking by boiling it for 20 minutes and filtering. See in the first method. Next, this kills all the germs in it, and we can use clean tap water by passing it through water filters and purifiers. See in the second figure, which filter the water and kill the germs using ultraviolet or UV light. So these are the two methods by which we clean water fit for drinking at home. At last, some name of dams in India. First is Bhakra Nagal Dam across the Satluj River in Punjab. Next is the Nagarjuna Sagar Dam across the Krishna River in Andhra Pradesh. Third is Farakka Barrage across Ganga River in West Bengal. Last is a barrage. Now I'm told you that the difference between the dam and the barrage. So the difference between the dam and barrage is that dam built for water storage and barrage built to divert the river water. So this is the difference between the dam and the barrage. I hope you all understood the chapter and the sources of water. So go through the chapter, and thank you and have a nice day.